So here's the promised list of physical processes that actually trigger the entrainment of dissolved nutrients into the surface mix layer. Okay, one process is called upwelling, and upwelling will be discussed in great detail in the next lecture. Okay. Another one is called entrainment. Okay, entrainment is the mixing, or you could actually say the deepening of the surface mix layer. Okay, so you can have a storm, or you have a density-driven convection, thermohaline convection, and if you deepen the surface mix layer, what it implies is you actually mix in higher nutrient concentrations from below. Another mechanism are internal waves. So there are waves in the ocean interior at density interfaces, okay? And they can lift nutrient-rich water occasionally into the euphotic zone. And here's a measurement. Okay, again, an example of an internal wave. The location is irrelevant, just an example here from the surface to 100 meters. This again is a Hofmöller diagram, okay, a time series of vertical measurements of temperature. Red is warm, blue is cold, and repeated measurements. And you can see that there is transition between the warm surface mix layer and the cold water underneath. So the surface mix layer is something like 16 degrees or warmer, and the blue is below 14 degrees, okay, to get that you get an idea. You can see that there's a vertical movement. Yeah, vertical movement. Sometimes the blue is higher up, sometimes the red is deeper down. And this is a vertical oscillation known as an internal wave. And the period of internal waves, you can also estimate this. What is a period? Period is the time it takes between two wave crests. Okay, so you just measure how long does it take to move up and down and back to the same spot. And it's typically something like 10-15 minutes for internal wave. Depends on the density stratification, but that gives you an estimate. Okay, and if you imagine that blue is nutrient-rich water, you can see that it's lifted into the euphotic zone. And overall, this is only occasionally, but whenever it's lifted into the euphotic zone, it can trigger a burst of phytoplankton production. Okay? So the last mechanism that indeed should be mentioned is, indeed, if you have erosion, seabed erosion, and shallower water can release nitrogen from seabed sediments. Okay.